Yeah. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Sav Show. My name is Civilian. I'm the host of this show. And today I'm talking about how journaling helped me figure out who I was and am and continue to be thanks to journaling. All right, let's get into it. I had a lovely catch-up dinner with a friend recently. Over the course of dinner, I spoke about my journaling practice and how it has changed over the last couple of years. I addressed how it had been used and what purpose it was serving currently. It was great to articulate this difference, and I uncovered something interesting, a new way of thinking about and defining my journaling practice that has some great practical application, which I'm going to break down now. You see, my journaling practice started in a way to help me figure out who I was, because there was a perception of who I was or who I thought I was. But did the actions match up with that perception, or was my mind playing games? Eventually, I decided not to leave any more room for ambiguity. I decided to dive into journaling to help me remain accountable to myself. Now, journaling serves a completely different purpose. It's gone through a transition from one application to another, and those two ideas I'm going to unpack in this video right here. So, application 1, figuring out who I was. In early 2020, I was lost. I was in a relationship that was failing, in a headspace that was damaging, and career path that was stagnant. The pandemic came and the whole world was forced to stop. I had increasing amounts of time by myself. I saw this as an opportunity to start to learn about who I really was, as well as the world around me through the practice of journaling. It was something that I kind of always wanted to do, always thought that would be helpful, but never really found the time for. I was like, it's like meditation, it's like exercise, all these things that like we know are so helpful, but we never really prioritize because it's you're always too busy kind of thing. But I saw the COVID period as an opportunity to really like stop and dig into this. Every morning, I would sit in the dining room with a coffee and my journal. The goal was simple: write down what happened the previous day. So here's an example of one of the entries. Maybe I made this up a little bit, but it essentially went like this. Every single morning, I would write like this. I woke up in fairly good spirits and was able to get a nice walk in before sitting down for trading prep. My prep was good. I traded the morning well, but I did overtrade in the evening. That needs to be better. I did some good exercise in the backyard before watching Friday night footy with the boys, and then we worked on some music together. Solid day all round. Amongst this straightforward note-taking, so back to me, I would also begin to collect some data points, right? Did I exercise? Did I work on music? How long did I work on music for? Did I drink alcohol? Yes or no? I would do this every morning, and then at the end of the month, I conducted a review. What worked? What didn't work? What can be better? How is my overall physical and mental health and well-being trending? I started to get a feel for who I actually was and what I actually did. No bullshit, no lies, no hiding. You see, I figured out that my mind could play tricks on me, but the words that I wrote on a page could not. The tangible aspect made them hard to bend to my agenda and my will and my thoughts and my own kind of like, mental excursions. The words held me accountable. The words helped me shine a light on my true self. Once I saw this, once I engaged in what I actually did and what kind of person I actually was, I could start to act from a place of reality and not fantasy. It took roughly 2 years and a host of other tools to help me sort through the bullshit to figure out who I actually was. From there, I could start to move with authenticity and integrity. The person who I thought I was now aligned with the person I was showing up as. Now I had a firm base. Now I could aim higher. Now I could shoot for the person I want to be. So application 1, in summary, there was, I always had this idea of who I was. I thought I was a good person. I thought I worked on the things that I cared about. I thought I thought. But what I thought was not right. Like my mind, and all of our minds are these fallible things that like they forget and they misdiagnose and they change and they swap and they pivot and they run and they hide and they manipulate and they our minds are so capable of doing all these things, these mental acrobatics, and you have to be a very strong-willed, very stern, very astute mind to be able to pick up on this stuff. I was not that. Most people aren't. We train our minds to do tricks for us so they can protect us. We don't train our minds to look for the truth, look for the hard stuff and go, that's what I need more of. Our minds are trained for comfort and an easy way of living that like makes us feel safe. So this journaling practice for me initially began as me needing to figure out who the fuck I actually was, because I had, I was just sick of running from who I was, and I needed to come face to face with who that guy was. So I literally just every morning I would sit down and I would just write, all right, what actually happened the day before? And I did that every single day for probably 2 years. And I would collect data points about what I actually did. Did I actually work on music? How long did I work on music for? Did I do any time reading or writing or studying or, creating content? Like, did I do anything that I said I was going to do or that I thought I would do in a usual day? And I would just collect the data and go, all right, based on the data, who am I? What am I? What am I actually doing and showing up as? And from there, I kind of started to bring these ideas into alignment, the person who I thought I was and the person I was actually acting as. And then I brought them together and they became the person that I, kind of could see as the person that I was. Not the person that I necessarily wanted to be, not the person that I thought I was, but the person that I actually was. I could see that. And from there, I could operate from a place of integrity and start to actually build something. And so, that was really important to collect that data first. Application 2, building my future self. So application 1 helped me figure out the raw materials I was working with, as I just said. I surveyed the lay of the land and knew what I was building on. In the last 6 months, however, my journaling practice has changed to accommodate for this change of intention. Now I know what I do and what I don't do. Okay, few examples of what I do. I exercise every day. I make time for the people that I love. I write every day. I work on content every day. I am upfront and honest with pretty much everyone. But honesty is something that being honest and being walking with integrity is something that I really believe in, and it's something that I've really tried to optimize how I think and act, because I know that should be an obvious one for people to be honest. But honesty was something that I struggled with because the person who I thought I was, this integrity-based, kind of person with virtue, was not actually who I was showing up as. I was showing up as someone who would lie, deceive, run from pain, run from, confrontation. And so that made me a very dishonest person, actually. So what I am now is I am a person who is upfront, who is honest, and tries not to run away from things that make me feel uncomfortable. So continuing on what I do, I take on challenges and I push myself. I am happy to be a beginner and learn. I am happy to delay gratification. That's what I do. This is what I don't do. I don't beat myself up for making mistakes. I don't pander to the opinions and standards of others. I don't run from a challenge or hard work. I don't avoid the commitments I make to myself. I don't lie to myself. Because I know these things, it's not as important to journal about them on a day-to-day basis. These are simply now my truths. Now my journaling practice involves higher order and bigger picture thinking. So initially it was just collecting the data, figuring out exactly who I was. Now I know who I am. Now some of these things that I wasn't a couple of years ago are now not negotiable. Now telling the truth is not negotiable. Now showing up and exercising every day is not negotiable. Now working on content regardless of the outcomes is not negotiable. This is just who I am. So with that in mind, I can start to think about who I want to become, because it's hard to go from here to here if you don't even know where you're fucking starting from, right? Now I know where I'm starting from. I can start to build a firm base to aim at something. And that's what this second application is mostly about. For example, thinking through life's problems and challenges, dissecting moments, reactions, or decisions that I've made or possibly avoided, considering who I actually want to be and how I best achieve that, working out what my standards are, and then making sure I prioritize and don't drift away from them, deciding what is important to me and how to do more of those important things. Now my journaling acts like a blank canvas. I've done the work to get to a point where I no longer hide from myself. Now it is up to me to decide who I want to become and what I want my life to entail. Through journaling, I can do this all intentionally by writing down what I actually want to do and then creating plans to go do that. So write it down, go do it, achieve it, move on. Journaling allowed me to pull back the curtain to see who I actually was. With the curtain drawn, I now stand center stage, with journaling providing the microphone for me to articulate who I wish to become. One of the great Stoic philosophers, Epictetus, had this to say about journaling. Every day and night, keep thoughts like these at hand. Write them, read them aloud, talk to yourself, and write to others about them. That was Epictetus. Shout out Epictetus. Journaling is a valuable and ancient practice that every single one of us can benefit from in some way. So, are you ready to start your journaling practice today? Let me know if I can help. My name is Civilian. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate everyone who checks these podcasts out and listens to me just fucking riffing and ranting in my room right here. If you like what you hear, drop me comment. I really enjoy hearing from people about whether or not they've enjoyed my content because, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm just shouting into the void. So whenever I get some feedback that people are actually listening, it's fucking great. So yeah, if you're one of those people, please drop me a comment. I really appreciate it. Even if you want to do it in private, hit me on the DM, email, whatever. Yeah, I would appreciate that feedback. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. All of that really, really helps. And if you want to go deeper with me, you can do that in one of two ways. You can join my Patreon member site for $5 a month. Heaps of bonuses in there, link below. Or you can sign up to the Sunday Sav, which is my weekly newsletter. Or actually, you can purchase a gratitude journal. All of the links are below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you next week on the Sav Show. Let's go.